Well, the original design, there was a 16 diameter, a 16-foot diameter yurt that was in this spot where this building is. I originally I thought about it being that circle with a little spur off of that was a little kitchen area. And then I laid out a garden hose to be able to do the footprint of the building so I could walk around it and go, okay, is this what I want? And it was very clear that it was much larger than what I had originally, what I needed actually. So I just kept making it smaller and, spiraling that wall in, which became the stairwell up to the loft. But one of the main principles in design that I find really exciting is when you build small is to have defined spaces marked through not necessarily having a big wall there that closes one space off from another. In the case of the stairwell, this is all one room, but the stairwell defines this space, the living room space, from the kitchen space, but you can still look through, you can still look past it. There's a physical barrier, but not a visual barrier. And I think that's very important. Another way to define space is with color, and in this case, in this living room area, it steps up a little. So because of the step up, you're in a different little room. I wanted it to be multifunctional in the sense of when somebody's cooking, I wanted somebody else to be at the table or hanging out in that little eating area and be able, or people here in the living room, and be able to interact. That was important for the people that are doing things like cooking, that we're all socially together. So very much this is a space to be social in, for sure, but there are very much defined spaces. I had learned through Cobb Cottage to build very small, to try to build smaller than what you think you need. It was a great process of determining what I would be doing in the space, and what my needs were, what the needs were if other people were here. And even so, this space actually reflects what my vision was of what I wanted, where I wanted to be going to. Whether or not I ended up going in that direction is another story, because people's lives, we change, we move and change, and so I designed the house with things in mind, like I have a window that's on the south side that has shelving in it for sprouting wheatgrass and other things like seeds and things. And there's a little warm nook that's a good spot for sourdough cultures and yogurt cultures and kefir. And so I was thinking, even though I wasn't necessarily fully doing those in my life on a daily routine, integrated into my life, I was planning for how I wanted to live my life and building those nooks in and those places into the house so that I could incorporate those better into my life. And I haven't actually lived a full annual cycle in this house, and so I've yet to really experience this house as a working organism. And I'm really excited to be in this house in that kind of setting, because there are just certain things. The clear story upstairs is designed so that the morning sunlight comes in and hits the bed and wakes you up like a natural alarm clock. And there is a system in which it will work most efficiently as far as heating and cooling the house. It's a very big plate glass window, and so in the summertime, you have it open at night. You let the sun wake you up. You get up and you draw the shade so that it won't continue to heat the house. In the wintertime, you keep it closed at night so that it holds the heat in. And then in the daytime, wake up in the morning, the daytime, you draw the shade so that the sun is coming in and helping to heat the house. So it's those kind of qualities that really excite me about living in a house, whether it's a cob house or any house for that matter. If you have it positioned where it's passive solar design, you can. It's like a little ship. It's like a little dance that you do in the space, and the more in tune you are with it, the more efficient it gets. And yeah, and this house was really a fun experiment in planning in all the little exciting things that I could, like the compost chute going through the wall. The PVC pipe goes through, and then it connects to a hood that affixes to the tube and then to a bucket, so it's a closed system. The little altar nook over there, it has a mirror in the back of the niche, and the mirror is actually angled forward so that then when you have a light, a lamp in that nook, it casts the light down onto the table that's sitting in front. So those little things are really exciting, and I think it took that kind of just hanging out in this space and really thinking about things and not building too fast. Like upstairs, the plaster inside on the walls, it was prayed over many different teepee Native American church meetings that happened in California where I lived. And so after all those meetings were over, I swept up all the sand and I brought it with me here, and I plastered the inside of the walls. So in the walls are these little flecks of embers, and it's just amazing magic to feel and to know that those walls, the sand in it has been prayed over and has been a lot of intention and connection to the people that I love are in those the pores of that earth. It was just really exciting to be able to do something that I had never done before. I didn't have any carpentry experience, and then also surrender. The whole process was a surrender. I didn't have a car at the time. I didn't have much money. Everything in this house is pretty much salvaged until later in the process when I did have money, and that was where it was the right exact moment when I needed to have materials, was when I was actually working and had the money to pay for them. So I bought the materials for the roof, like the membrane for the living roof and the tongue and groove cedar boards for the ceiling and things like that. But for the most part, everything was salvaged, and we hauled gravel in the back of Dragonfly's little station wagon. So it's ever evolving, this whole technique. And that the other thing that I wanted to mention was that we're doing all these things are ancient materials. They're somewhat ancient techniques, but the buildings that are resulting now are thoroughly modern. They're modern structures because we're using ancient materials, but we're applying them in a modern context and a modern design. And so we're coming up with buildings that are way, way more efficient than your standard cob building in Wales with the walls, 3 or 4 feet thick, and the window is like this tiny little 4 foot by 3 foot hole. It's not about going back into the dark ages. It's about taking these materials and moving very much into the future and using we're just such creative beings that we can do anything with these materials, and it's totally modern and amazing structure that is the end result.